Good evening, everybody. Darkseid about to play some more Binding of Isaac. Before we get into it, I realized that I unlocked another ending and forgot to show it to you. So, let's go have a look at that. This is the Transcendence ending. Suitably dark for the nature of this game, I would say. Now that I've shown you that, let's get into it. Last time we had a pretty good Cain run. Let's see what I can do with a different character. How about... Lazarus, why not? Lazarus has this interesting mechanic where he starts with an extra life and kinda not so very good stats. The whole point of Lazarus is that extra life actually boosts his stats when he comes back. So it becomes more so about where and when to actually off yourself in order to improve. Knowing the way that I like to play the game, probably somewhere early on down the line. Oh god, this room again. And without a charge baby to help me freeze up these flies, I mean, that could have been worse. And as I'm kind of looking to take damage anyway. Not a lot of it. I still want to try to at least make it to the devil deal before I give in to my sadistic nature. Ooh, free money. Yes, give me that. Every coin helps. Every coin. Look at these attack flies. Ha 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 ha! You are nothing to me. And that's a bomb. Oh, okay. Wow, could you spare it? Alright, that is Kidney Bean. It's an active item that does charm. It's nice, but ooh, Monster's Lung. Well, we will see the effect of that quickly. It is a charge attack that when you... What is this room? Well, I'm not complaining, especially since I see a Tinted Rock over there. Plus, more money. Can't complain about more money. That is ultimately going to be the impetus I need to go ahead and drop myself. I should wait for the devil deal, but why worry about that? Roll the bomb. Alright, what's in the shop? Oh wait, I have no keys. Embarrassing. Onwards! Hello, monster, I'm going to fight you with your own lung. How does that feel? Yeah, how you like it? How you like it? The answer is not very much, obviously. There you go, buddy. And Toothpick, which is going to improve my tear rate and my shot speed. Meaning, I can fire this thing off a lot faster. Instead of firing it off in 43 frames, I can now do it in 33 frames. Here we go. And we now come back as Lazarus Arisen. We have better stats, better range, better speed, better power. Luck actually went to neutral now. And on top of that, if I take damage, I'm going to leave behind a trail of red creep. Not bad for the simple act of committing suicide, eh? Alright, so we're leaving that floor feeling like a rose. And there's a key. Could have used that a while ago, but I'm not complaining, at least I have the key. I hate these giant spiders that generate more spiders. Yo dog, I heard you like spiders, so we put spiders in your spiders. I don't care how old that joke is, I still get a kick out of it. Oh, crap. Yep, that's the sort of thing I expected would happen there. Now I really need to find a shop. That's my item room. I would really like to find another key, or barring that, let's use some of this money on the shop. Okay, in trouble now. I only wanted to kill myself once, guys. Come on, have a heart. Well, here's a good use for the coins. Let's see if I get anything good here. I do not condone gambling. That having been said, what harm is it going to do it in-game? And I don't mean loot boxes. Loot boxes, microtransactions, all of that can go die in a fire as far as I'm concerned. I play games to play games, not to continually have my hobby monetized by soulless corporations that just want nothing more than their bottom line to look better. Monster Manual. Okay. Well, it's something. I'm not going to complain too loudly about that. I just don't know how much it's actually going to help. Yeah, Monstro's Loan. Well, I don't really care about placebo. Let's drop a few coins and see if anything interesting pops up. Well, I could get Buddy in a box. I think I would rather save that. Alright, I don't necessarily like buying health in the shop, but it's better that than to lose your first devil deal. That's usually the most transformative thing of all. Usually, not always. There are times in which the devil deals are just plain trash. Trash, kind of like an Electronic Arts business decision. By the way, if you haven't figured it out yet, I have issues with modern game publishers. No, and relax, not all of them are trash. Just most of them. Thank you, Infamy. Thank you. Alright. This run is looking good. Oh, I do not want Mom's Toenail. I'm not going to pick it up, but just so you know what it does, Mom's Toenail will randomly summon Mom's foot and come stomping down as you're going through the levels. It is indeed random, but you'd be forgiven to think that it was targeting you out. I very much dislike that item because it just creates issues. I don't need issues created. Get anything else done without its help. Thank you very much. Alright, we have got good items here. I don't think I can afford to take Gimpy this time, but I can definitely afford Whore of Babylon. That is going to further improve my damage and my speed. All I have to do is keep at 1/2 of a red heart or less. Not difficult when you have no red hearts. So, we've got ourselves a pretty strong run here, and I am moving uncomfortably fast. The sort of speed that just makes you feel nervous. Yeah, I'm trying to get something specific to show up here. So if I find a way to produce infinite charges of this book, which is indeed a possibility, I can probably take care of a couple of difficult achievements all at once. That's a big if, though, so something to keep in the back of your head, and more so for me to keep in the back of my head, as we go forward and try to find more shit. Alright, starting to feel strong now. I'll use this key here. Ooh, Speedball. Little Baggy has appeared in the basement. I'm assuming that's an achievement for picking up enough Hypo Beetles. Oh, hello. Well, they're gonna drop left hand, which, whereas it's nice, I don't necessarily want every chest I find to be a red chest, otherwise known as a cursed chest. I am not in that much of a need of getting troll bombs out of my treasures, thank you very much. Though to be fair, it is possible I can get guppy parts, soul hearts. All sorts of fun can be had with that item, I just don't necessarily want to go that route right now. spiders. Great, thanks guys. You're just like Dark Bum, you think you're doing me a favor, but all you're doing is making me feel uncomfortable. Back to the point of terrible, greedy game publishers, I'm assuming that there's been plenty of following in the news, in gaming news, about Activision and some of their practices. The sort of things that they've been doing with Black Ops 4 and, well, their scummy business practices in general. Let's never forget the idea that they've actually worked on and have granted by the patent office a patent for a system of matchmaking in their games, which essentially puts lower-level players with higher-level players in an attempt to try to get the lower-level player to buy their microtransactions. I don't know about anyone else watching this, however few may be watching right now, but that is a practice that is not only scummy, not only scummy, but it's just plain. Ugh. The greed and avarice of Activision is getting under my skin lately, and yeah, maybe I shouldn't give too much of a shit because I don't really play many of their games, but it's the sort of underhanded, sleazy business decisions like that have been seeping into every other company's ideas of what they need to do in order to be profitable in the gaming industry. You know, because it's not like just selling games, it's making them enough money. I do think Jim Sterling has the right idea about this. For these games, let's take this and see if there's anything I can spend that on. Now, that's actually going to be a temporary pain while I try to lose this red heart for the sake of keeping more of that alive. Alright, Krampus. Go away. Oh, it's more useful than Monster Manual, I'll tell you that much. You're on my hand again, bird. What have I told you about that? Yeah. Alright, back to the point. It's the sort of thing that other game publishers start emulating. It just makes the entire hobby feel scummy and disgusting. And to be fair, there are plenty of developers and publishers out there that don't do these terrible, scummy things, but I still can't help but feel like my attention and devotion to the hobby of gaming is being used in a cynical manner just to turn a quick buck for something. And it's not like Black Ops 4 is the only mark against Activision either. Now let's take a moment to talk about the idea that, once again, going back to Black Ops 4, how they tried to sell a targeting reticle, in other words, a single red dot for an extra $1. Now, that doesn't sound like much, 100 COD points for a reticle? Well, I'm sorry, yes, that is a big deal, because at that point, they're showing you that there is nothing that's off the table. They will monetize any goddamn thing in order to get themselves a few extra bucks. They're willing to monetize something as simple and basic. Oh, hello. As something simple and basic as a targeting reticle. I wonder what else they'd be willing to force you to pay for. Oh, that's done. Okay, it broke even. One would think that at some point or another I would just stop taking pills. I think I'll stick with what I've got. But I will pick it up just to add it to the in-game inventory, and then pick Head of Promise back up. And look, I get it. At the end of the day, it's a business. You're in the business to make money, but I don't think that making money should be at the detriment to the customers that have made the gaming industry what it is. Especially considering that, all in all, when it comes to entertainment media, video games rake in more money than movies and television. Honestly, it is the most profitable piece of entertainment, with Grand Theft Auto 5 being the most successful example thereof. It's not necessarily a game that I want to go out and play, but I understand why people go out and play it. And when you got that kind of mark going for you, you would think that you wouldn't need to continue to go balls to the wall with terrible, scummy business decisions like what Activision Activision, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft. Basically, the big three of the three game publishers that we're going for. But alas, our hobby is being used in such a cynical fashion, and it makes me a little sad. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going with. I've been playing video games since I was 6 years old. Had an NES, and the first few games I played were Mega Man 2 and Super Mario Brothers. Just in case anyone asks whether or not my gaming credentials are in order, you know my standing. I've been gaming for a long time, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. That's part of what makes me so upset about how games are being treated nowadays. Because there used to be a time when you could, just make a good game. Back when there was potentially arguments, and probably still are if I'm being factual, that games are a form of art. Anyone who's played things like Final Fantasy VI or Super Metroid will tell you that, yeah, the games can be used as a form of art. Nowadays, that justification seems far more difficult to take seriously when you look at what's going on with games nowadays, and it's sad. It's to the point now where any justification for games or art is starting to fall by the wayside just because they're harder to take seriously. And yes, I understand a lot of that started with the advent of the Season Pass, another old, antiquated piece of monetization that Activision is still using. Again, using Black Ops 4 as the example, their Season Pass is a disgusting piece of holding bits of the game for ransom, as you can't buy a la carte any piece of downloadable content for the game, be it map packs, weapons, or whatever, because it's all included in the Season Pass. You either get all or nothing. If you haven't noticed, I'm going to be ragging on game publishers a lot. Just right now, I'm going off on what I'm personally remembering at the moment. I can always look up more news. There's always something. Hello, Mom's Knife. Yes, I want that. Oh, that's the shop. Yes, I definitely want to go to the shop. And we will buy Champion's Belt, which will improve my damage, but it's also going to make champion monsters more frequent. Which in turn will make consumables a bit more frequent, so no harm, no foul. Back to what I was saying. Actually, what's going on with gaming right now is a sad, sad state, something that I would love to see change for the better. I will admit that pretty openly that I'm a big Nintendo fanboy, even though I'm playing this on PC, mostly because I think the game just runs a little bit better on PC, but I do have it on the Switch as well, because hey, sometimes you want to play on the go. I don't see anything wrong with that. Well, once again, I'll just take Brother Bobby. It's not a good item, and you're already seeing its effect. But it also takes away that heart and gives me the all-important Whore of Babylon bonus back, so we are in business again. And I honestly believe that whereas Nintendo is an example of good business decisions, not all of their decisions resonate well with me. The idea that up until recently you couldn't play first-party Nintendo games on YouTube without having your content demonetized is a good example of things that Nintendo has done that I disagree with. That has recently changed, however, though, so I don't know, maybe expect a few things to come along the way. Maybe not New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, because outside of Toadettes, it doesn't seem like a lot going for the game. Hello, money. As much as I liked the game on the Wii U, with that being the only real update made to the game, it doesn't seem like much of a deluxe version as much so as it seems like, hey, come check this out because we know very few of you had a Wii U. And to me, that works for games like Captain Toad, where it's not necessarily the graphical fidelity that you're worried about as it is the interesting puzzles. And the idea that they put content in the game from Super Mario Odyssey in the form of Blue Donk City. That to me is a move that's mired in joy and appreciation for a game. It's a well-made game that they want people to check out. I'm down for that. Now, if they had made it so you needed to pay an extra $1 every time Toad died in order to get back to the game, then I'd be a little bit more resentful of the whole process. But they aren't doing that. For the most part, and I'm not saying this is always the case, Nintendo tends to view DLC as a way to expand the game after everything is done, and it's only there once they know they have a finished product. Now, the cynic in me is questioning whether or not that's entirely the case, because one could always make the argument that something like Smash Brothers is done the exact opposite way, where the game isn't necessarily finished, but they're putting their eggs in the DLC basket because it makes them money with things like new characters and whatnot. But if the characters are coming out after the game is already finished, then basically we're just getting freebies at that point. Well, no, not freebies. You still have to pay for it. That was bad damage. The point that I'm getting at is, so long as it's not necessarily on the disc, so to speak, because Smash isn't on a disc, I will take that. Then I see nothing wrong with them using that as a means to get us more content. If the content was already there and they're selling you a code to unlock it, Capcom, then we have reason to talk and be resentful of the matter. As is, I don't see anything wrong with Smash Ultimate's DLC. Matter of fact, I'm looking forward to Piranha Plant and Joker. Though I do wonder, is Nintendo going about only using third-party characters for Smash, or is there something to suggest that they're going in multiple directions? Okay, Mom's lipstick isn't helping anything, but we did open Boss Rush. There's nothing here I particularly want, but you know what? At 1.5 Soul Hearts, maybe I shouldn't try Boss Rush right now. This is something to do when I have a little bit more defensive clout. So, another time, Boss Rush, another time. By the way, for those of you wondering how Boss Rush is unlocked by getting to and defeating Mom within 20 minutes. So when you were hearing me the other day complain about, oh, I don't think I'm in running for Boss Rush, that's what I was talking about. It's nothing that necessarily needs to be strictly adhered to have a good run, but I am going to need to complete Boss Rush with all the characters at some point. Just a little something for you guys to look forward to. Go away. I might have a use for that, actually. Alright, I'll take that with me. I only have 2 bombs, so let's make the best of them. I would be lying if I said that I felt that the state of the games industry was a good one right now. With the way things are going down, I would not be surprised if we were either facing or in the midst of another crash in the game industry. And the question of what do we do about it just becomes, I don't know. What I know we can do about it right now is stop purchasing. Alright, that's another damage up. I'll look up how Steven works and see if there's anything special about it. But as far as I can tell, Steven is just a damage up. Not one I have a problem with, mind you. Alright, so we're going to use Strength, and we're going to steal this, and we're going to leave. Bye, Satan! Well, despite only having 1.5 spirit hearts, we're actually doing quite well for ourselves. The ability to fly is just going to make things easier. Full health. Yes, I would like my luck to improve. That is an improvement on my luck without it necessarily being an improvement to my luck stat. That's my own personal luck. What I can certainly tell you what we can do for right now is speak with our wallets about the things that we're interested in. Don't just buy things because it's something to buy. If you don't agree with some of the greedy business practices that are in place when it comes to a certain publisher or a certain game, don't buy from that publisher. Don't buy that game. We need to show that we're not interested in this crap. Speak with your wallets. That's the best way we can go about affecting some sort of positive change. Part of the reason why I haven't purchased a lot of the big AAA releases lately. I have not played Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I've not played Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Though to be fair, I've never been much of a Call of Duty player. If I'm playing an online shooter, you bet your ass I'm playing Splatoon. I didn't even pick up Street Fighter V when it came out, as much as I love fighting games. Because I felt that what they were doing by carving up all of the content into this seasonal live service model does not fit the model of a fighting game. It's also why I didn't pick up Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, even though I very much love these kind of anime-style fighting games. And again, it's because I simply don't agree with the method by which they're going about the game. By holding much of the game's roster hostage to extra DLC payments, it becomes essentially a matter of you're not necessarily paying for a game, you're paying for an outlet, and they'll just add to that outlet whenever they kind of fucking feel like it. That to me is not a game. That to me is a jet. And you can argue, oh, but the fighting is really good in that game. And you know what? It might be. And the idea that the characters from Ruby are in it is definitely something worth thinking about. But when you have to pay for 2 out of those 4 characters, when you have to pay for the rest of the roster, a roster that, mind you, is more or less complete when the game released, and they were simply holding them to DLC payments. And that's the thing, they knew that the characters in that game were paid content before the game came out. So when... Thank you, you are my friend. When they're flat out telling these outlets and sources that, yeah, this game's going to have all of these characters, but half of them are going to be paid DLC, that's telling you that they're not interested in the quality of the game as much so as they are about how much money they can make off it. And for as big of a crossover event as all of this is, I can't help but feel, or that, I guess not well no, is the right word. It's not something that was out and then is no longer available, it's still out. All use the same language here. It just feels to me like a shame and a waste. And like I said, I love Blaze Blue. I love Guilty. I just don't support what they're doing with that game. And hence why I haven't purchased it, despite the fact that I've heard that it's actually pretty fun and runs really well on the Switch. I just don't necessarily agree with the idea that they're holding half the roster of the game's characters to ransom for DLC payments. Perhaps that makes me a bit too idealistic, but that's just the way I feel about the situation. You can only... Thank you, Isaac. Okay, I didn't take damage at all. Well, not the entire run, but just the womb floors. Alright, that feels pretty good. But yeah, you can't expect people to just be okay with being nickeled and dimed to death for something as absolutely necessary as a character roster. When it comes to a fighting game, the character roster is the most important part. And aside from the controls themselves. If you're holding an important part of your game to ransom like that, then you've made a grave mistake. Anyway, that's all for me for now. Thank you for listening to me rant while playing Isaac. Like I said, I'll put the description of how Steven increases your damage in the description. I'll be back with more content in the near future. Until then, be seeing me.